the key again is to have something in your cloud environment within that virtual data center that can give you visibility. So you've got to have, and the way the cloud does it is you do a virtual appliance, so instead of, in the old days, we'd use, I won't say, a
Mhm.
manufacturer hasn't been around in a long, long time, but like a sniffer, right? The
Yep.
old NetScout days, that, uh, you've got the
Yep.
idea of what's happening across those lines, and you've got to see that information. And so you stand up these virtual appliances within the environment, and you give them access to all of your VLANs. And when the thing that you lose in a multi-tenant cloud environment is, like in the old days, when you would build out yesterday, you would build out an environment, and with your own switches and your own, these are all belong to you. We call that today private cloud. Those switches are dedicated to just you, and you can turn on SpanPort, right? So you can see across all those ports and see what's happening. Well, in a public cloud environment, those are all shared, so you can't turn that on. So you've got to build tools within each of those VLANs that you're building to see that traffic, is a key, huge key. And so again, it's a visibility perspective. You've got to see inside of it, and there are tools available to do that. And you know, to kind of circle back to a theme we were talking about earlier, is the service providers out there that have these tools and have the security operations center. Yes, it's absolutely possible to go out and build your own SOC, and
It is.
and go buy a SIM and plug it in. And I equate that in the old days to HP OpenView, right? You go out and you buy it, it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, and you plug it in, and you get 10,000 events. I'm like, oh, and that's the correlation engine that Ivan was talking about. Is you got to have that SIM that's sorting through all that and bubbling up what are actually events and what are not false positives, all those things. So it's it's to do it yourself takes a great deal of resources. You have to go out and recruit and retain guys like Ivan and Jamal, to go out and have eyes on this that are deep into the industry and know what they're doing, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt. And those are not inexpensive resources.
Yeah.
So my recommendation has always been, go find a service provider that excels at this and buy a small slice of that function. You'll save a lot of money and have a great, well architected environment that can, can spot these things. So, because that's really what it is. It's the visibility. Ivan, go ahead.
The other side of that is, real quick, and everybody wants to do the same thing. I was on earlier today. Jamal and I were actually on the same call, and the fear there was, or the intrepidation there was, economics, right? There's no budget available. The problem is, they all know that it's going to cost, some exponential amount. At the end of the day, if you have an additional headcount that you could possibly afford, or that's sitting out there as an open rec, that open rec can be filled by a managed service. So effectively, what you're taking is one individual, and you're filling that spot with approximately 5 to 7 individuals, because that's really what it takes to have eyes on glass 24/7, 365. And at the end of the day, it's not just an individual, it's somebody that's comfortable with your network, that understands what's going on the other side, that does the threat hunting, that does the deeper dive, not only on prem, but on the internet and in the cloud, right? So they really have a greater visibility as to what is occurring. So it's not so much that it's expensive, but you really think about the economics as to, well, if I take that open rec and go ahead and look towards managed services, usually they bounce out, but I'm getting one person, I'm getting 7 people in lieu of one individual. And I think that in itself, and you clicked up key takeaways, should be a key takeaway. So you can have a
Yeah,
managed service for the cost of one individual.
100%.
yeah, absolutely. And it's better to pay now than to pay later.
For more information, click on the link below or visit databrackets.com.